This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by JEMS Art Studio. JEMS Art Studio is an online store that allows access to prints that you can use for most anything, obviously as just a picture, or as a wallpaper, or as a bookmark, or anything you can think of. You can find JEMS Art Studio at etsy.com/shop/JEMS Art Studio. This podcast is also brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you. Welcome to another fantastically adequate episode of the Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bob, as always, and with me is Bobby Quarters.
Hello.
We have a whole bunch of Suicide Squad to discuss. We're going to start things off by talking about the glorious, wonderful Suicide Squad of 2016. And that'll kind of allow us to roll into Suicide Squad of 2021, I think. Was there a new one? I don't know.
It was the.
It couldn't be better than 2016, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I'm pretty sure that the studio would know better than to leave their greasy mitts off of this one.
What? And
the 2021 one, that is.
Of course, we got a new Doom Patrol trailer, which I haven't seen yet. That just got released, and I am actually very interested to dive back into that series.
You should be.
Yes. Well, that series is great. But yes, we have the Suicide Squad from 2016. Boy, oh boy. You have any immediate thoughts on this one?
Shudder. Oh God, where to begin? Immediate thoughts. Well, I mean, it's obvious that the studio, like I had said, they meddled so badly that I'm surprised a rubber mask didn't come off of this one and it to be revealed to be Bob Kane this whole time.
Yeah. Well, when rewatching this movie, I was shocked just by how staggeringly bad this edit job is. It is I'm literally watching it and thinking, my God, I'm watching this thinking of how I could easily edit this thing together so much better. Because, the beginning is literally introduce Deadshot, introduce Harley, and then introduce Amanda Waller, and then introduce Harley, and then introduce Deadshot, and then, oh my God, my brain is breaking. My brain.
Yeah, it did really hop around, and really just, I guess, the storyboarding is what was really jarring for me the most. And it bothered me the very first time I saw it, too, because of just, it's like you said, they introduced Deadshot. We get a little backstory on him. We introduce Harley. We get a little backstory on her. We meet Miss Walker this whole time it seems that, she's just telling us about them. Okay. Who is she sitting down here? Why is this happening? What's going on?
Well, yeah.
Why are we getting all this exposition? What the hell?
Well, it's so frustrating because I'm watching it and I'm thinking, okay, we have the beginning, Deadshot in prison. We see him, we see the guards kind of mess with him, and then when you cut away, what you do is you start Amanda Waller talking about Deadshot, and then you if you need to, you can cut to her a little bit, talking to other people, and then you roll immediately into your main Deadshot introduction, so it's all one clump. As for the Harley introduction in prison, you don't even need that, because we've already established the guards are cool to Deadshot. We don't need any more of that. So you can roll into your regular Harley introduction, and I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, who edited this? You saved time by cutting it this way. What the fuck are you doing?
One thing that bothered me most about this, and this, I don't know, this time it really got to me, and it was the song selection and score.
Oh, yes. Oh, my.
And I mean, okay, if anyone who is anybody, if you know one for one about Batman, or at least you're around our age, mid-30s, you grew up watching Batman the Animated Series on Fox. So you know very well who Harley Quinn is. You don't need a song to emphasize how rebellious and unique individual she is. The song choice I really hated, and I just well, technically someone does own her, and his name is Mr. J, but okay, we're going to go with this one, and That's one thing, and there's more examples throughout this whole movie. Yeah,
all the song choices are so fucking on the nose. It is
Cliches.
frustrating. Like,
they were cliche as fuck.
I love Sympathy for the Devil, and if I never hear that fucking song in a movie again, it'll be too soon. Cause
Yeah, one of my favorite. One of my favorite thrillers of all time is Fallen, and it opens with Time Is on Your Side, but it has a lot of Rolling Stones in it. But still, again, yes, if I never hear Sympathy for the Devil again,
just if you're
they
thinking,
tease that break for too long.
if you're thinking, hey, I want to put Sympathy for the Devil in this movie, and your name's not like Martin Scorsese, just don't do it. Figure out something else.
Well, besides, I think Marty leans a little bit more on Gimme Shelter than anything else.
Yes, he does, but he makes it work.
But he makes it.
But
so
all these.
Okay, yeah. So we haven't even gotten to the rest of the Suicide Squad introductions, if you will.
Well, yeah, it's all shot in the worst way possible,
and it's almost as if it's a line of dialogue, and then that's enough character development.
Yeah,
that was very frustrating for me.
Well, we get little clips of almost everyone. It introduces almost everyone. El Diablo, in the beginning we get Harley and Deadshot a fucking lot. And then we get a little bit with Captain Boomerang, El Diablo, Killer Croc, and Enchantress. Who, 5-year-old spoiler, is actually the villain. But we'll definitely get into that when we talk about Amanda Waller. Because how they handle Amanda Waller in this one is fucking wrong.
It's bad.
Yeah. But we get introduced them.
One thing I did want to bring up about Diablo, that is definitely, I would say, the most roll of the dice character choice for a comic book film to date.
Oh, yeah. Now, I've never heard of him before this.
That statement does have an asterisk, but I'll get to that asterisk a little bit later.
Oh, yeah. We get lots of characters later when we get to other Suicide Squad movies.
I really just thought it was a rare chance, because, I mean, I'm fairly versed with Batman's Rogues Gallery, but this one I really didn't know much about. I had to actually look it up a bit, and once I did some reading, like, holy crap, this is a cool character.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
El Diablo, I'll go ahead and say it right now. El Diablo, probably the best handled character in this entire movie. He actually gets a whole arc. I actually like him. Yeah. In fact, I'll go ahead and add an extra asterisk saying I like a lot of the way the characters are handled in this movie. El Diablo is the best example. Character out of nowhere, who I actually end up rooting for at the end. But but we have so many other characters. I
mean, I liked Croc, and I was kind of afraid that they would go way heavy with the CGI, which they did, and he kind of did end up looking a little like garbage in some shots. But I was convinced it was a Croc.
Yeah, Killer Croc.
That's
the makeup job looked pretty good. There wasn't much to his character, I would say, but yeah, he worked. He worked well enough.
He worked. He was one I actually, I loved him.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm a big Batman mark, so.
Mm-hmm. For me, like, Deadshot's obviously great in this movie. Will Smith kind of works. I was not particularly. I like Will Smith, but I wasn't particularly thrilled when I heard he was cast. I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. And he does add a degree of credibility to this.
Yeah, my first reaction to him being cast as Deadshot was that he would take it as like kind of a Batman and Robin-y comic book movie.
No, he takes it.
Yeah, but he played it very sincerely. Like, I was kind of afraid that it would be like Agent J as a marksman.
Yeah, he plays it serious. He is, he plays it essentially as a caring father who also kills people for money. You can mix the two, and he actually does it fairly well. I like his character a great deal. But yeah, but anyways, we get introduced to them. We find out about Task Force X, and then Amanda Waller. And then we get all the group together, and during all this scene, for probably almost like the first 45 minutes, they're adding all these songs in. And it gets so obnoxious. Probably when I realized, the beginning bit was really bad. Like Sympathy for the Devil was like really bad. But then when it cuts to Eminem's Without Me at the like midway through, I'm like, oh god, I'm so done with this song shit. It does not work. Stop forcing it. Ugh.
Yeah, it's the money went to the soundtrack, not the writing.
And they didn't even bother the editing. Like, it's so clear this movie wants to be Guardians of the Galaxy DC version. But doing all this stuff without understanding why that worked. Guardians, like, there's an emotional anchor to the music, because that was Peter Quill's music that his mom gave him that he loved. And this is just random fucking songs thrown into the movie.
Yeah. Well, with Guardians, that was like a play. If I remember from the film correctly, it was a tape she gave him right before she died.
Yes.
And then he was abducted. So it's like the last token he has of her before her passing. So yes, that's sentimental value to all that music and why it's so important to Quill.
Mm-hmm.
That's there, and that's why that soundtrack is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, when you watch that movie and the songs come up, you're kind of cool with it because it has a meaning. It's not just random. And lots of times that song, what's the word? It's in canon. I'm brain farting on the term. But it's lots of times when you hear the music in Guardian, it's in canon. That's the music that either Peter's currently listening to or he's playing on a speaker right now. That's what you're listening to. This is all just random shit they're playing in the background. Random.
Well, I mean, like a good example for like what you were saying, the in canon is I think it's their I believe it's their introduction in Endgame, where they're listening to the Rubber Band Man.
Yes.
And you see them all just grooving, bopping, singing. Yeah. Like, it has more meaning. Mm-hmm. It's not just, hey, here's the Rolling Stones with a helping of Eminem.
Yeah. But yeah, we get the group together, and then right at the end, we get like, you want to add something?
I want to say we forgot to introduce somebody.
Who do we forget?
Somebody else who's in the group. Rick Flag.
Oh yes, Rick Flag. Yes, he is the military man.
The Billy Badass of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And they did establish him as a Billy Badass in this one.
Yeah.
We didn't see much of his Billy Badassery, but it's established he's a Billy Badass.
That's true. I am jumping ahead because we're getting the group together. And we haven't established that Enchantress goes rogue, and they get the group together to stop her, and that her and Rick Flag are a couple. You're not really invested in that relationship, but it's a thing.
Yeah, no.
The characters are, so you roll with it.
We shouldn't be either.
I mean, Rick Flag's invested in it, so that's our investment in it. I'm not a huge fan of Rick Flag here. We'll get to him later, though.
Yeah. That was literally all the notes I had on Rick for this movie.
Yeah, no. He's forgettable. Another character I would like to go ahead and talk about for a couple seconds. Captain Boomerang. I do not like Jai Courtney at all, and I really dug him in this movie.
I've always loved the character in the animated Justice League of Captain Boomerang. Yeah. I thought he was just like a dastardly bad guy, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I had never heard anything or heard of Jai Courtney when this came out.
I
was impressed.
Yeah, no, like, I swear, I don't know what it is, but, like, I keep on seeing him as, like, a leading man. What Terminator? Was it Genesis he was the lead in? Terminator Genesis? Yeah, he was so bland as Kyle Reese in that. And I swear, like, you lose...
That's the one I haven't seen. I haven't seen that or Dark Fate yet.
You're not missing anything?
I already know the big spoiler of Dark Fate, and I have no desire to watch it.
Yeah, if you watch the trailers for those movies, you get the big spoilers for them.
I mean, I'm sorry. I like the universe for John. I like the universe where John Connor's still alive and not shot as a fucking child.
Well, I don't know which I hate more: him getting shot as a child, or him being the T1 trillion or whatever number they made him.
You know that those past two. But we're gonna get a little sidetracked with this, but the only thing I can say about that is after those past two movies, the one let's see, Dark Fate and the one that came out before that, those two
it's Genesis.
That was Genesis. Okay, well, I take back every mean thing I ever said about Rise of the Machines.
Oh, Yeah.
I take back every negative thing I ever said about Rise of the Machines.
Okay. Since we're already on this tangent, I'll go ahead and throw in my hot take. I am totally cool with like just not watching any Terminators after Terminator 2. I personally think the best one after Terminator 2 is Salvation. Not because it's great, but because at least it's something different. Holy shit.
It is something different, and it's kind of a nice bookend to the Connor story.
Yeah. It's
okay.
My personal guide would be, if you really want more Terminator 2, I guess go ahead and watch Sarah Connor Chronicles, which I haven't seen all of, but what I've seen of, it's fine.
Yeah.
But anyways, Jai Courtney. He is, I believe, an Australian by descent. And I swear, once you get him to stop doing an American accent and just do his natural Australian accent, I swear to God, he's a better actor. He's actually a good actor. Maybe his career won't take off as leading man if he was allowed to do it in his natural accent.
Huh, so he kind of has the opposite of the Tom Hardy effect.
Oh, what's the Tom Hardy effect? What do you mean?
Oh, I think it's like when Tom Hardy is ever like forcing an American accent.
Yeah.
And I feel with a lot of British actors, it just kind of sounds a little weird, to me at least.
Huh.
Which I imagine is how it would sound to people who live over in England and they hear an American actor fake a British accent.
Yeah.
Imagine it's something very similar to that. But I think that he's a better actor and he does a better performance when he's speaking with his natural accent.
I've not noticed that. I don't know. I think he usually does a good job, period.
Well, I mean, I am using one film as a comparison, and it's a movie he did with Guy Ritchie called The Rock and Rolla.
I have not seen that one.
Good one.
Guy Ritchie is an interesting filmmaker. I'll give him that. I don't like all his stuff, but he has his own takes. Yeah.
I hate his Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, he's got his own takes.
I fell asleep.
Well, which one?
Both of them.
Both of them. Okay, I kind of enjoyed the first one. I thought the second one just felt like more of the same, unfortunately.
Yeah, fell asleep.
But yeah, what else we talked about? Okay, so they get the group together, and after they get like the main group together, that's when we are introduced to a couple characters who I did not get images for. That would be Katana and Slipknot. Oh, I did get Slipknot because he's very important. Katana gets...
that was his name. That's right, Slipknot.
Yes. He's not the band. He is the separate character. Oh wait, I got right here. Ooh, he's actually under the poster. How weird. But anyways, yeah, Slipknot is the most important character here. He is vital. We need to know that he can climb anything.
Yes.
That is the beginning and end of his full character arc. He is such a deep and profound character in this movie.
So thought-provoking.
Oh my god. And then, like, this couple minutes after that, you get Katana, and she gets the most exposition-y line ever from Rick Flag, so much so that I wish I had cut it together so I could show it to you. It's like, this is Katana. Her sword tracks the tolls of its victim. I won't get on her bad side, because she'll cut... Is so exposition-y. Rick Flag gets really exposition-y in this movie, but that line is, my god, so cringe.
Actually, I have a good note for that too. And we are introduced to Katana. Now, Katana has Rick's as 6.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and you don't want to be killed by her blade.
Yes. Yeah,
that is literally almost verbatim the line. And again, another poor soundtrack choice right here too.
Oh, what? I don't remember what soundtrack choice did they do at this moment. That's right. It was Spirit in the Sky, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I said,
flying in the helicopters.
My note was, it is so predictably whack that I'm honestly surprised that Salisbury Hill is not in this soundtrack or this film.
My god, yeah, it's.
And I fucking love Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, no, the only reason it's not in this soundtrack is because there's no scene where they're purposely going up a hill. I guarantee you, if they walk up a hill, they're playing that one.
Well, I mean, Harley had a hammer, and we didn't hear Sledgehammer.
And that's a missed opportunity on their part. They're going to be so on the nose, they need to go all in.
I mean, thank God, but... Because I also love that song.
Yeah, I love it too. Peter Gabriel's one of my favorites, but oh my god, this is... I guess he dodged this soundtrack.
Good for him.
Yeah, I used to say there's a rule that either Peter Gabriel, Jimi Hendrix, or David Bowie have to be on every single soundtrack. Does Suicide Squad 2016 not get that?
No, I can't recall anything about the soundtrack offhand.
Yeah, I don't like all the random shit. I don't think they hit any of those three, which is shocking. Those guys are like on every fucking soundtrack. Awesome.
And I remember there's parts of it that I was going like, oh yeah, this is a James Gunn movie.
Yeah. But, anyways, we get the whole squad together, and immediately Slipknot is killed. I'm sorry. It's very sad. He is the heart of the movie, but he is instantly dead because we really felt something for him, and he got the thorough introduction he needed, and his arc was over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew that he would want to go out that way like a firework.
Yeah.
So
I am impressed they didn't blow him up and play firework.
Seriously.
This soundtrack's so.
I mean, if he had some snakes or some sparklers, that wouldn't be going on. But
Anyways, the movie just goes on. They fight random, like putty men.
Humanoid blackberries is what I wrote.
Yes. Yeah, that's what they are. They are. Zombified blackberries. So evil. They do that for a while. Joker attempts to get Harley. And this is one thing that drove me nuts. So Joker gets Harley, and I'm jumping ahead because this is after they've saved Waller. It's revealed their mission is to go in there and save Waller. Okay, whatever. And then Joker comes in to save Harley, and then Waller goes to Deadshot and says, hey, if you kill her, you can have full custody of your daughter. Keep in mind, they haven't really done any character development at this point. They've exchanged a couple lines, but nobody really knows each other. And that's when Deadshot, who could get his daughter, it has been established, has his driving force behind doing all of this stuff, decides he's not going to shoot Harley. And that kind of drives me nuts. Because that's not where the character's at that moment.
He would have shot her without hesitation.
Oh, yeah, to get his daughter in a heartbeat.
He would have no-sighted it and just been like...
Yeah. It's so frustrating. It's like they're at this point they're really trying to build that there's these character dynamics and that they care about each other, except we're not there. They're not there. They've exchanged a couple lines and killed some putties.
Putties. But no, I don't know, just a lot of this and this whole part too. It really felt misguided and misdirected. Like like you had said, that we're supposed to feel that, they care about each other, but we haven't seen anything to establish that in our minds except for them ham-fisting us this.
Yes.
And so much of this movie is just ham-fisted, and it's really one thing that drove me so mad. Like with all the Joker flashbacks too, that I felt was just there for the sake of saying, "Hey, the Joker's here."
Yeah, is absolutely clear they wanted to just put Joker in this movie, and if they had put Joker in as the main villain, that would have actually made sense to me.
Yeah.
He would be a good villain for the Suicide Squad, or at least some sort of antagonist. But he is so unnecessary to this that if they completely cut him out, the movie would actually be better.
Yeah, and I agree.
I actually think there's a good movie where you set up Joker as the main villain if we ignore Leto's performance. There's a good movie to be had if we have Joker as the main villain, and there's a good movie to be had if we just actually, I don't even know.
That's a tall order to ignore.
Yeah, there's a lot to fix with this movie still, even if we cut him out.
I mean,
it's better.
First of all, we gotta get back to the drawing board. Now, if we remove all the tattoos and the trap wrapper shit, I think that looks good. I just don't think the face tats work, or any of the tats work. Like, if we're going off of the traditional DC story of him being the failed comedian, and I'm talking of like Killing Joke,
yeah,
like a failed broken man before all of that shit happened to him. He doesn't seem like the type of guy to be having a face tattoo on his hand.
Well, I don't.
Even after. He just seems to be more like maybe psychotic and just, at the whim, ready to pull the gun and not think twice. Shoot first, ask questions never.
Well, you look at these tats, and it's like the music in this movie. Like, it doesn't necessarily make sense, but it's just gonna be so fucking on the nose. And that's so frustrating in this movie. Everything has to be so goddamn on the nose. They put damaged on top of his fucking forehead. Like, we couldn't figure that shit out.
And like the smile on the hand, and it's there on his forearm too. The ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Oh,
done in comic book style. Done in... In case you didn't get it, there's a skull with a jester's cap. Yeah, he's a Joker. Cool.
I understand he's into death.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd never pick that up with the Joker. Oh my god.
I mean, I kind of thought it was better established in The Dark Knight, where he does the first why so serious speech, and he's standing with the guy with the blade in his mouth, and he looks at the dude on the floor and he asks him the question. And you don't have to see what happens to know what's happening.
Yeah.
He is one not to be fucked with.
Yeah. Well, I love the origin they give him in The Dark Knight too, which is actually no origin. He just gives you a fuck ton of origins, and once he goes off on the second one, it's all fucking bullshit.
Where he starts it the same, and then it goes a little different. You're like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the most accurate depiction.
Yeah. Yeah,
cool.
You can do the failed comic thing, which is what the Joker movie was essentially. You can do the Agent of Chaos thing. You can do if you go to Batman '89, that's a good example of just kind of crazy fucking Joker. I don't think that's the best one, but it's something.
I would say to date, it is the best depicted on film of origin.
Oh, of Batman '89?
Yeah.
If we're going by Killing Joke, it's actually not too far off. So yeah, if we're going by origins.
Let's see, when did Killing Joke first get published?
It wasn't too far before that, but I think...
Yeah.
I know Tim Burton really liked it. I don't know if it was his inspiration for wanting to do Batman. It might have been.
Well, he did say a lot of his inspiration came from the Detective Comics of them, as well as Frank Miller's Dark Knight. The Gothic aesthetic is what really inspired him heavily with the old detective style, but really just the overall color scheme and darkness of Frank Miller's is where he's like, yes, that is the Batman I want to make.
So wait, does Tim Burton like Gothic aesthetic? I don't know if I've noticed that in his filmmaking.
He likes Johnny Depp.
That's for sure. My friends and I used to have a joke about as the reality is that Tim Burton, Danny Elfman, Johnny Depp, I'm trying to remember if there was somebody else, but they're all actually in a relationship together, and that's why they're all making stuff together, because that's just their group, man. They all love each other.
Well, it's kind of like the goth kids of the Apatow crew.
Yeah. Well, lots of filmmakers have their crew, so can't judge them. But yeah, it felt like for a little bit, if there's a Tim Burton movie, Danny Elfman's scoring it, Johnny Depp is starring in it.
Odds are, that is like the three amigos of the Burton verse, I guess.
But yes, Tim Burton, someone else who can direct this movie better.
Yeah, and I'm kind of sad we never got to see what he would have done with Superman. And I would have loved to see Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Well, that's the thing. Have you seen, what is it called? The Death of Superman Lives, the documentary.
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's been years.
It has been a while.
One thing I really thought was interesting about watching that is how little, when they got to story discussion towards the end, I actually thought it was kind of interesting. But there's actually very little story discussion in that. There's lots of talk of the visuals, which I can almost tell you that's kind of what got derailed. It's like, okay, it looks cool. What are you doing with it?
Well, one thing that I think is fascinating when it comes to that aspect of it, and this was after Burton was out, or I think he might have still been in, or maybe, but when they brought Kevin Smith in to write the story.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you could find a clip of it on YouTube, or you listening could find a clip of it, because this story is fucking outrageous and funny as hell. he talks about him meeting with the producer Joel Silver, and who owned the Superman rights, who bought them from the Immokalee brothers of Canon Films, who owned them, and they made Superman 4. So they were about to make the new one of like Superman Returns or The Return of Superman, or I forget what the name. I think it was Superman Lives.
Yeah, Superman
that was
Lives,
the
I think was the actual title.
Was the working title.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess at some point Joel Silver didn't want him in the cape.
Yeah.
He didn't want the blue, hated the color scheme, wanted it to be all black. And he wanted Superman to fight a giant spider at some point.
That seems familiar. It's been a year since I've seen that. I know, I think it was him who was intensely against the red underwear thing, which is why he goes without it for so long.
Yeah, he was against the red underwear and cape. He thought it looked too effeminate, I believe. And that's not the exact word that was used, but...
It's almost like comic book movies, or comic books in general, aren't realistic.
What?
I know. It's like, that's what you're making. Go with it.
You mean some failed army vet can't live in a steel mill and abandon make a full steel outfit for himself? Also, and be incredibly good at basketball?
Anyways, we got... we're still on Suicide Squad, right? We were on talk about Joker and the unnecessary Joker bits.
Yeah.
Anyways, we get to... that's right. We get to the big twist reveal that the Enchantress stole the bomb from Rick Flag, and that's why she took the city hostage. Which is, by the way, the most expected reveal ever.
Yeah.
I was watching, I was like, wait, that's what I assumed happened. Why is that a twist?
Oh, wait, we forgot to mention Enchantress's brother. But again...
yeah, well, she has a brother.
She has a brother. He's there for a bit.
The character depth to him is that he is her brother.
Yeah. And they have a task they need to finish.
Yes, they need a sky beam with junk around it in the sky, because that wasn't cliche enough by then.
No, because of reasons.
It was kind of interesting. Between Avengers and... somewhere between Avengers and this movie... this movie was kind of like the end of the sky beam. Avengers kind of launched it, and everybody's doing sky beams after that. And then by the time this movie came out, it's like, we are so fucking done with this shit. What was it? I want to say Man of Steel definitely had a sky beam. I think that Ninja Turtles 2014 had a sky beam.
Yeah, Crane. Actually, both of them had one.
Did they both have one?
Yeah.
Oh God, I haven't seen I haven't seen either of them in a long time.
I think there was a rooftop fight in the first one. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
I remember I enjoyed both of them, but I just didn't care for how the turtles looked.
Yeah.
Well, and both were good turtle stories.
The gold standard for me is still the Turtles movie from 90 or 91.
Yeah. Yeah. That one where it's a little dark and gritty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's still the pinnacle.
Anyway,
Secret of the Ooze was made to sell Vanilla Ice CDs.
Yes. Oh God. But
and pizza.
Yes. So Joker. Yes, we get to the big twist reveal, and then we get to what I would argue is by far the best scene in this movie. That's the bar scene. That's where we get El Diablo's huge backstory and his emotional trauma, and kind of why we really see in that scene why he is the best character in the movie. But we also get a bit of Deadshot, and even Captain Boomerang gets a little bit to shine in there. Harley gets to show off how crazy she is.
Croc gets to show off how beautiful he is.
Yes. Harley in this movie is a whole different tack.
Yeah, there's a lot with her. Again, one thing that bothered me about a choice that Margot made, and it's something that has been corrected since, but that accent was all over the place. I didn't feel that she didn't hone it into one specific kind of mid-Atlantic-y, which is kind of how I imagine people from Gotham could talk, because I've heard Gotham saying it's like an analogy for New York City and Chicago. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I don't know. Her accent.
I've also heard that New York is, or that Baltimore is supposed to be Gotham as well.
Yeah, Gotham's kind of an amalgamation of a whole bunch of urban-style cities. It's kind of Metropolis too.
Yeah, it's kind of Metropolis, but I always think Metropolis is Los Angeles.
Yes. I always think of Gotham as more New York and Metropolis is more Los Angeles. That's always what I've thought.
City, that's St. Louis.
There's mixes.
Yeah.
But here's what always bugged me about Harley.
I don't know, just the accent really bothered me. Like, it just kind of seemed like it was existent at some points and then not. But this bar scene, I completely agree. It's the only time that we see them and how they feel towards one another. Like, they all realize, like, look, we're all bad and we're all in a shit situation.
In fact,
get together and get out of it.
If we had that scene where Waller tells Deadshot to shoot Harley after this bar scene, that would have actually made sense to me. Yeah. We don't, but oh my god, it's like it's out of order.
Yeah. So much of it seems like the squad is going to be all together fighting, and Harley's going to be doing her own thing. Not really what they're doing, but her own thing. Like right before this bar scene, when they go to encounter and they're fighting their way up more of the Blueberry Men.
Yeah.
How she just goes up in the elevator by herself to only get encountered.
Yes.
Like that kind of that right there bothered me. But we did get a great payoff with Diablo.
Mm-hmm. Well,
we got that great payoff there.
Here's what bugs me with Harley, because she possibly more than, I don't know, maybe not anyone else, but more than a lot of the characters in here, she has a built-in arc, especially if we're going to involve Joker in here. Her arc is breaking away from Joker. And this movie is not interested in progressing that at all. And that is a serious downfall of this movie. It's like built in, and they're ignoring it.
Yeah. Like when we were talking earlier about this, I had mentioned that how I feel that if they took all of the Harley and Joker together stuff, like the ruining date night shit and all of the rest of it, and maybe lumped all that together and made it, tell a clear-cut story, but put it in the beginning of Birds of Prey, it would have like improved on what was already a really good movie.
Yeah. I mean, Birds of Prey has its issues.
Yeah, and probably would have salvaged what was left of this movie.
Yeah. Well, Birds of Prey has its issues, but it's much better than Suicide Squad 2016, and it's not bad. It's one of those movies, the more I watch it, I'm kind of like, this ain't bad. This is fun.
And her accent's way better.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get to more of that later, but yeah, Harley Quinn, I want to see the Harley Quinn Poison Ivy movie now, very much so, but we'll get to more of that later.
Yeah.
But, so they get that great bar scene, and then we get to the big CGI fight.
You mean where Gozer fights the Suicide Squad?
Yeah, something like that.
I kept thinking, like, wow, are they fighting Gozer right now? Because Enchantress sounds like Gozer.
Yes, she does. Okay.
That's exactly what Gozer wanted to do.
Oh, man, this is... Like, Enchantress is essentially just like this villain who's a belly dancer with a sky beam. And they gotta fight her. Yeah, she's not even a fucking good belly dancer. She's this weird fucking belly dancer. Yeah, just dances before the sky beam. And it's like...
That bothered me so much. I don't know why. It just looks so unnatural. Yes. And it's... Oh, God.
I don't know what they were thinking with this. I
don't know either.
We get the end of El Diablo, as he is, I believe, the only second, like, if we're not counting the random military guys and Scott Eastwood, El Diablo is only the second of the core team that dies in this movie, called Suicide Squad. Fun fact, if you watch the animated movies, there's 2 animated Suicide Squad movies, and they have like a 50 to 75% death toll for the squad members. And we'll talk about death, obviously, when we get to 2021. But, oh my god. Kind of to sum up what, like, my final thoughts are on 2016 here. Obviously, they beat the bad guy. I do want to talk a little bit about Amanda Waller here at the end, because Amanda Waller is so set up to be the main villain of this story. She set Enchantress out. Enchantress does all this chaos, and it's obvious Amanda Waller wants to contain her, for to kind of cover up her shit because it's all on her. And what they do is they just kind of like blow it over. It's like Amanda Waller's free. Okay, you guys get 10 years off your sentence, whatever she says, and they get some random stuff they ask for, and that's it. And it's like Amanda Waller is the fucking villain here, and we're ignoring that. Sure, whatever. But yes, do you have any final thoughts on this? I know.
Oh God. Yeah. Like I'd said earlier, I could tell that this was heavily meddled with by the studio. They wanted to tinker around and probably think that they knew better. And I don't think that we should hold we really shouldn't hold the director, cast, or writers that accountable, because I'm sure that what their original ideas and intent and vision was so far gone from what actually we got.
Well,
I mean, I'm trying to be as fair about it as possible.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the possible Ayer cut, which I don't think will happen at this point? But what are your thoughts?
I would like to see his.
I
really would.
It's like the Snyder cut. I'm totally on board with watching it. Hell, if nothing else, it's content. But I don't see how you salvage this movie. Like, I could re-edit it a bit. I guess I also see what's on the cutting room floor. I'd love to have access to that. See what could be put together. Yeah. I don't know if this is really salvageable, though. I honestly don't know.
Oh, yeah, I don't know either.
Because I actually think if you do a Suicide Squad story, I'm about ready to say you can't overblow it. But they do kind of overblow it in the next one, but we'll get to that. But yeah, this one, Enchantress was a terrible villain.
Yeah.
If you didn't have Jared Leto as Joker, maybe you could have had Joker as the villain.
Yeah.
There's some classic Suicide Squad stuff you could go for that they don't.
If you can't have Jared Leto, and obviously, I mean, my first pick would be Heath Ledger, but we can't have Heath for that.
No.
So who would you cast for it? I would pick Cameron Monaghan, the kid from Shameless who played Jerome on Gotham.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay. I haven't really seen that one. I'm trying to even think. I mean, there's lots of guys who could handle it. Yeah. One guy who I always thought would be interested, who was actually like rumored that maybe they were thinking about in when they were casting The Dark Knight, was Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
that would have been interesting. Now they're doing other stuff with Michael Keaton now, but
yeah,
that would have been an interesting turn. Have him play Batman and the Joker. I'm kind of really interested in that because he could fucking do it.
I still want to see him as Old Man Bruce, which is what I believe the route they're going with it, which I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I would love to see a not Flashpoint. Yeah, they're doing Flashpoint. What is it? Batman Beyond with him.
Yeah,
oh my
there is also a part of me that really would like to see Kevin Conroy as Old Man Bruce.
Yeah, we got to see a little bit of that in Crisis.
Yeah.
Which I have not been keeping up with the CW stuff well at all, but I did see Crisis.
Yeah, I had read that he was appearing on the CW one, and I was like, oh, fucking finally!
Yeah, he doesn't have a big role. He's never in costume.
But still.
yeah, it is kind of cool to have him as Bruce Wayne for live action.
I mean,
you can say he did it live action once.
Yeah, I read comics, and I read Batman stuff, and I'm reading Batman bubbles, and I'm hearing his voice.
Yeah, no, like, if we're talking voice, Jesus Christ, he nails it. It's perfect. Like, Christian Bale definitely didn't nail it. Other guys have done all right, but Kevin Conroy fucking nailed that voice.
Well, I mean, I kind of have a weird theory with the Schumacher Batman movies. Like, Clooney was a great Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Terrible Batman.
Yeah.
Kilmer, the exact opposite. Lousy Bruce Wayne. Great Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Keaton, great at both.
Yeah, Keaton kind of did both. Well, his Batman voice wasn't anything, like, fancy. He just did it a little bit deeper. So I guess if you were really paying attention, you won't really tell. You could probably tell it was Bruce, but, it worked.
But I think it's like if you were listening for Bruce's voice, you would recognize.
You'd have to know Bruce's voice well to know that that's him.
Yeah.
So, are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's.
What other movie was there? I don't know. Was
Suicide.
there another movie? We already talked about Suicide Squad. What the fuck is this?
I'm
shit?
talking about the Suicide Squad.
But there's not a "the" in the title. What is this?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Oh,
So, Task Force X is back at it again.
ooh.
They're at the Belle Reve Penitentiary, and they're sent to South America, the nation of Corto Maltese. I actually had to write that down because I knew I wouldn't remember it.
Fictional country. My daughter actually looked that up because I did.
Oh.
Totally fictional.
Okay.
Only,
I figured.
yeah. They do crazy stuff to it.
Yeah, the government is being overthrown by an anti-American regime, so intelligence office contact Miss Waller to send her Suicide Squad out, and are tasked with destroying Jotunheim, a Nazi-era laboratory that holds secretive experiments known as Project Starfish.
Getting Ryan to
So, yeah, so the team that is leading it this time, the attack, is, of course, Rick Flag's back, and, he's actually far improved from the first film. Highly believable. It's the same Rick Flag. We're not looking at a reboot or a retake or a restart or whatever they're terming. There was also a Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher 2, and Nane, I believe. I'm saying that right.
It's King Shark.
They enter the country undetected.
It's his real name.
Yeah. They enter the country undetected, and they're fine. Now, for the other team,
well, that's one thing I totally want to talk about. How they kind of they almost troll the editing of the first one. How that one's almost like there's two introduction scenes and they're just kind of sloppily mixed together. This movie literally has two introduction scenes too, except we have the first introduction takes place in over a couple minutes. We get our seemingly core team. We get Savant, we get TDK, we get Rick Flag, we get Captain Boomerang's back. We get I'm trying to remember, Javelin. Harley Quinn pops. Harley Quinn's like the Katana, where she just kind of pops in at the last minute. Hey, what's up, guys?
Weasel.
Weasel, yes, Weasel. Blackguard. Blackguard. Come on, Pete Davidson carried this movie, man. but we get this team, and then they go, and they get fucking slaughtered. Oh my god.
Fucking heinously murdered.
Oh my god.
Before the credits even stop rolling.
And I love how Waller's team, they're obviously just sending these guys out because they drop them in the water and they never even bother to check to see if Weasel can fucking swim. And he fucking drowns, so it's he's dead instantly before anything fucking happens.
Yeah, it's did anyone find out if he could swim?
Yeah, nobody looked that up. Great. I think, and then Pete Davidson, he gets his face blown off very quickly. Very quickly. Nobody was really upset about that. I know he was a deep character. One thing I want to add before we get to how these characters died is that when they're going to the point, we actually get these plane conversations, very Predator-esque, where we're getting to learn about their characters. We actually spend some time establishing these characters before they get slaughtered, which is more than I would say for a lot of the characters in 2016.
Yeah.
It's, but I kind of love the bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
But
Captain Boomerang dies by a giant propeller.
Yes, Captain Boomerang was, of course, the big, we're gonna bring back somebody just to prove we're willing to kill off people.
Proving that you like this character.
Yeah.
Cool.
The only characters who survive this massacre are, of course, Harley, because it's fucking Harley. Why would she die? And Rick Flag. And then it's not confirmed, because last I saw TDK was alive and writhing in pain. However, I don't see them bringing him back, but always to my experience with comic book stuff, if he's not confirmed kill, he's alive. So they'll bring him back in 20 years. Who knows?
Yeah, Peacemaker is also part of that. Bloodsport.
Yeah, we're talking about Team 2 now. Yes.
Oh, Team 2, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
that's when you get to the second set of introductions after these guys are almost dead, and we get to meet Bloodsport. Fun fact
Yeah.
about Bloodsport: he is a rewritten Deadshot, almost certainly. They did modify him to be a bit more like Bloodsport, though. I didn't see anything about Bloodsport having a daughter. Now they did rewrite that relationship, so it wasn't so obvious, though.
Yeah, I didn't hear any mention. I can't recall a mention of it.
But what they did incorporate was the fact that he shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet, which is his most famous accomplishment from the comic book.
Yep.
So, he's kind of a mix of comic book Bloodsport and Deadshot from the other movie. It's kind of clear that he was intended to be Deadshot. I think it almost kind of works that it's not Deadshot, because if you knew Deadshot was returning and he's not in that original group, you're like, okay, we're missing people. Obviously, this isn't it. And I kind of like how the original group's almost like, here's a whole bunch of characters and they all get slaughtered. And it's and you're not even really thinking about, wait, who's missing? Because it's all new characters that are missing. All new.
Yeah, it's hard for you to tell who's who.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. See, aside from Bloodsport, we also have Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher 2, and Nane.
Yeah, one of the best jokes is Amanda Waller explaining, all you guys are chosen for your unique abilities. Bloodsport, who was raised by his father to be a killer and can turn anything into a weapon. And Peacemaker, who was raised by his father to be a killer and can turn anything into a weapon. Bloodsport instantly points out, wait. Did you just say my origin?
I want to say one thing real quickly about Peacemaker, and it's more like John Cena who played him. Fucking was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Cena knocked it out of the park.
There's a lot of acting in wrestling, so I don't want to be like that. I'm not usually thrilled with the wrestlers that turn major actor. He's probably doing it more fluidly. I guess he's not getting as big roles as The Rock. The Rock had a very Rock had a rocky period starting out. Ugh.
Well, yeah, and now he has he made the Scorpion King, and it's kind of hard to you kind of got to pay a lot of dues to get past something like as a catastrophe like that.
Yeah,
but I think now that he's doing, and he's kind of stretching out his range as an actor. Mm-hmm. He's getting those bigger parts, but there was a while where it was a lot of family-friendly, straight-to-DVDs, a lot of kid-friendly movies. I feel that there's a few standout performances during that starting period. Him and Be Cool, I thought that was a standout, as he played a security guard who was living in Los Angeles, working for some bad music producer guys, but he secretly wanted to be a model. And he was also very gay.
For someone who really liked Get Shorty, I've not seen Be Cool.
It's not bad. It's no Get Shorty, but it's not bad.
Yeah. But maybe I haven't paid as close attention to his career, but John Cena seems to have
that one, but he's also been doing a lot more of those group, supporting cast, or not supporting cast, but I guess big group cast with the Jumanji.
Mm-hmm. But, did you cut out? Oh, yes.
But yeah,
okay,
I mean,
there you are. Okay, you cut out for a second. All right.
Yeah, it did cut out. But yeah, with wrestlers breaking onto the main screen, or into movies, is not really something old.
No.
It's been going on since the early days of professional wrestling. I mean, the first that comes to mind is Captain Lou Albano appearing in all those Cyndi Lauper music videos.
Yeah.
Because Cyndi Lauper was also, she was a huge wrestling fan, and she even appeared at, I think it was WrestleMania 3 as a valet for Captain Lou Albano.
No. Well.
And of course, there's a Bonesaw, Randy the Macho Man Savage, in the Spider-Man movie. And there's one other one, I can't remember who.
Well, someone who I was surprised never took off, because I thought he did a good job in this movie, Rowdy Roddy Piper, after They Live.
Thank you.
how did he not take off after They Live? Because, like, it wasn't a brilliant performance, but he was good. Why?
He was great.
Why didn't he get more after that? Why didn't he?
I don't know. He did have a lot of other roles too. But they were mostly like, straight to video, straight to home release.
Yeah, he can't all be John Carpenter, I guess.
Well, They Live is such a fucking masterpiece.
And that's kind of one of those stealth John Carpenter movies too, unfortunately. Like, God, he has too many classics, unfortunately. I think that's the issue with They Live.
Yeah, that is. It is one that is often overlooked as it. Most people will just fixate with Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween, The Thing. He has classics. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember who. Hulk Hogan, who starred in the blockbuster Hollywood record-smashing film Suburban Commando.
Okay, yeah, I was like, it's Suburban something.
Where Christopher Lloyd delivered the greatest line ever recorded to film.
Oh, yeah,
I was frozen today.
Yeah, I can't. I was frozen today. I can't.
You should put a clip of that in right after I say the greatest line.
It is perhaps the best line delivery of all time with that.
Of all time.
God. Oh my.
You're the one who's put them in danger. All these guys want is you. Christ! I was frozen today.
But yeah, the wrestlers can actually do good, and I've seen Cena in some stuff before, and a lot of it was kind of I could tell he was typecast, just kind of playing the macho. Okay, guys.
Well, and
that's it.
He's kind of rolling into the acting thing more smoothly than I think a lot of them honestly do. It's just working. Like when he's on screen, he has a presence.
Well, yeah, and you are right. There is a certain amount of acting that does go with professional wrestling. Like, if I could just kind of diverge and talk about wrestling a little bit.
Okay.
Like, with that, there's like two different types of wrestlers. There's baby faces who are obviously the good guys, and the bad guys are heels. Heels are meant to like rile up the crowd. Like if if I was a pro wrestler and I was a heel, and let's say that we were in Texas. I would go out there and say the classics, there's only two things that come from Texas, and I don't see any horns out here. Rile the crowd up, get heat or get them feeling into the show, making them angry. So that way, when the hero, who let's just say another wrestler is a baby face, and he is from Texas, he comes out not liking me saying stuff, that whole crowd wants to see that guy rip me apart. That's like causing heat. And Cena, I've seen him play heat for both sides of that, and he's really great at it.
Yeah.
Like, he is really great. I've seen him kind of like drop his character in stage on live television to the other wrestler and watch it throw the other wrestler completely off. But Cena just doesn't miss a beat, and he is just on point. And that's a skill that's not easy. I mean, I always say it takes a lot of talent, not only to put your body on the line every night, but it takes a lot of talent to walk into an arena full of people with a microphone and have every single one of them hate you.
Well, jump to in our movie here. Have you seen the Mickey Rourke movie, The Wrestler?
Oh, yes.
What I loved about that is it kind of showed, is it fake? Kinda. Yeah, they plan it out beforehand. But it's almost like a violent dance that they're doing out there. And they're like stuntmen, essentially. They're like...
Yeah, they are. Sometimes I know that there's a few performers, like a few wrestlers, I've heard them talk on podcasts before, and I've heard a few of them actually say that some of them, they'll plan it or just call it while they're in the ring as they're going. And there's other guys who have worked with each other so many times that they could have an entire match, a great match, and not say two words to each other.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Yeah, it's like if you know how the other guy moves, you can just roll with it. You can pick up their body language and know what to do. Know if you're actually pushing it too far, or know if you're fine and stuff like that. No.
Yeah. And I mean, it's still like they sacrifice their bodies. I got nothing but respect for that.
No, it's one of those things. I obviously you're the wrestling guy. I'm not really into it.
Yeah.
But there is an art to it that I do appreciate the artistry to it. It's These guys are essentially stuntmen, and like people, like when people say, "Oh, it's fake," yeah, don't trivialize it though. There's art to that still.
it may be planned and like a work, but they still hurt themselves.
Yeah, no,
They still
stuntmen die.
have legit
These
surgeries.
guys could get seriously injured doing this shit, and they're doing it for entertainment. It's
you bring that up. There's one in particular I'm thinking of, like a particular move that happened on a pay-per-view back in 1998. It was between Kevin Nash and Paul White, or The Big Show. Kevin Nash went to pick him up and powerbomb him, because before it, Show was like saying, "Yeah, dude, do it to me. I'll be fine." And Kevin's thinking, like, "You're 500 pounds, man. Like, you sure? Because I don't think I could pick you up."
Mm-hmm.
"No, it'll be fine." So the match goes, they go to do it. Kev kind of gets him up most of the way, doesn't lift him up here like he has, so he's still leaning down like this. He drops him, and it looks like he lands right on his neck. It's scary. It's scary to watch.
Hearing it described, I just shiver. Oh my god.
It's terrifying to watch. Now, on the Peacock version, you very clearly hear a very audible from Kevin, "I am so sorry," as he's going to cover for the pin.
Oh, really?
Like a very audible, "I am so sorry." But I mean, years have passed since that, and they were cool the next night.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've heard Kevin talk about it, how he came up to him and he sees him in a brace. He's like, "Oh my god, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." "Dude, it's fine. I'm okay. I don't even need this. I'm just wearing this to make them happy. I'm good."
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible.
Man.
Well, but yeah, even describing it, I just thought about it, and watching it was bad.
But yes, seeing I'm brain farting now. But yeah, John Cena, I feel like he's really flowed into the acting thing. I guess he's not getting a whole lot of leading roles, but he works so well. Like, I love him here. He was also in that Bumblebee movie. Not great acting there, but it worked. It fucking worked.
And sometimes if he's doing the stern, serious guy in a comedy movie, it really works well.
Oh shit! What was that movie? The Tina Fey. Was it Amy Poehler with her? Was it Sisters?
It was. I think it was either Sisters. There was a few they did together. There was Sisters and the one where Amy Poehler played the surrogate mom to Tina Fey.
I don't think that's it. But I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this. He was in it. And he was flirting with Tina Fey, I want to say, but they were saying the most fucked up shit to each other as the flirtation. I believe one of the things was she walks up to him and says, "My safe word is keep going," or something fucked up like that. "My safe word is harder." It's like, holy shit.
Jesus, Tina. All right.
Okay. But yeah, he works in the comedy stuff. Bumblebee's more in the comedy vein, obviously not in the same vein as Sisters, but he works there. There's very much a comedy aspect to his character here, though. But he's able to jump between the two, between being actually menacing and a threat, and being kind of comedic, almost seamlessly here. I would say seamlessly, not almost.
Yeah.
But
all right, where were we with Suicide Squad 21?
Oh, well, we were talking about John Cena. We were talking about Peacemaker.
Man.
Yeah, we were talking about my favorite character, who is, of course, let's see if I can find him here. My favorite character is Milton. Milton is really deep. He adds a lot of depth to the story. Okay, actually, what? He's been with us the whole time.
I don't recall Milton.
No, probably my favorite character is this guy right here.
Yeah. Holy crap, what a great character development.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's just this miserable, sad, pathetic guy, and
who will be your favorite character.
Yeah. He works so well. Like, you have this core cast, and he is just, he has his issues. He doesn't like killing, except if he visualizes the person as his mother. oh my God, Sigmund Freud would have fun with this guy. Holy
he
shit.
would love this guy. Yeah, just like he's, and it's the actor himself too. He was able to convey just so much torment and suffering with his like delivery and his when he was talking and disclosing about how every monster I see is my mother and I just try to kill them.
Yeah,
like, all of it. You get such a connection to this guy, to him, and his torture, and like just his life, and just And then after he has his big moments,
yes, he does the foolish mistake of completing his arc in the final battle.
Yeah,
that's a rookie mistake. You need to complete it after the final battle.
Yeah.
We aren't there yet, but he doesn't last long after that. But he does get a full arc.
Yeah, he does.
But
and Ratcatcher 2 is I think the next one we need to talk about.
Oh yes,
I really like that character.
Yeah,
I kind of felt we could have dove into her a little bit more.
Well, it's kind of crazy. I'm watching all these flashbacks, and I didn't realize until the very end that her dad, the Ratcatcher one, was Taika Waititi. It's like, how did I miss that? He was right there. When I rewatched it, I saw it was clearly him.
It took me 3 watches to realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize it till the very end. And you see the flashbacks clearly in that bus panel, and there is his face right fucking there, and I'm just missing it. And
I did like the scene with her and her father where she's like asking him, like, Dad, why rats? That was a nice, very touch. And it's like that sort of stuff like that is what I feel like makes these comic book movies more. Like they show the humanity in people and in these metahumans and superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that is relatable to us as the audience. And it just makes it gives it that nice, warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yes.
Which, makes it an enjoyable experience. And that's what I felt that 2016's was missing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
It's missing the humanity in the characters.
Almost every single character in this, even the ones that die, are better than most of the characters in 2016. With the exception of maybe Deadshot, Harley, and El Diablo.
Yeah.
And I would even include that with Rick Flag. Rick Flag, obviously, they're going after Project Starfish. We're jumping ahead. We have the core team going after Project Starfish. They have to first save Rick Flag, and they do this great bit where Amanda Waller says, okay, he's been captured. You have to kill those people and get Rick Flag. So they massacre this little group of people, like at least 10 to 15 people. They just massacre them. They do them somewhat silently. They even, Peacemaker and fucking Bloodsport have a game where they're like, I killed him violently. Well, I'm going to kill him violently. And it turns out Rick Flag has already talked to these people, and they're helping him out. And it's like, oh my God. But that also shows how this movie gets the character of Amanda Waller, because she doesn't give a shit. It's like the last movie was like hedging on that, but didn't want to go all the way. This movie's like, no, Amanda Waller's a cold-blooded fucking bitch that doesn't give a shit.
No, that I felt like she was definitely like more callow in this one, or not callow, but just more cold.
And what's crazy is in this movie, she's not even the one responsible for the chaos. She's just covering up shit. In the last movie, she was actually fucking responsible, and it's like they let it go. Here, she's not responsible, and she's doing the dark shit without question.
Yeah,
it's like this movie gets her character so much better. Let's see. Who else? Let's see. Alright, Rob. Bloodsport was largely a oh, yes, they did not. Going back on how they didn't research how Weasel can't swim. They also didn't research that Bloodsport has a deathly afraid of rats, which is Ratcatcher's ability.
Yep. That was actually really funny to watch Idris Elba just be terrified of rats.
He gets to be complete badass throughout this whole movie. Then anytime a rat pops up, especially the main rat, Sebastian, who has a little backpack that hangs out with Ratcatcher all the time, who takes a liking to him, every time that rat's around, he's terrified.
Yes. Ratcatcher is the greatest, Sebastian? Yeah.
Yeah.
Greatest mouse of all time.
Sebastian was great.
Move over, Fievel.
But let's see. So yeah, they massacre this village. Wow, what do they do after that?
They conquer the Tinkerer.
That's right. They do get we get the 12th Doctor in, the Tinkerer. Pierre Cabaldi does a great job.
He does. He's really great.
He's an evil megamaniacal. God, I love it when words trip me up, especially during a podcast. He's the evil scientist type. And now that word's gonna drive me nuts. But yeah, he just does it the typical way, and it fucking works. I dig it.
He's a little bit crazy, a little bit extra, a little bit loose and wild, and it was great. He was playing he was playing the doc. He was kind of giving his own unhinged doctor a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, this is a crazy doctor. Ooh, I can't. There it is. But yes, he gets to do the crazy doctor. He is the one manipulating this whole. He's manipulating Starro and doing experiments on him.
Yep.
Yeah, the picture, even he's surrounded by Starros. I also thought it was dark when we revealed his lab, and we find out that, like, I don't think this is the way it was in the comic book, but, like, the starfish sticks its thing on your face, and then it, like, eats away at your face, so it's just, like, your skull there to take over. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, this is a hard R, unlike the last Suicide Squad movie.
Oh, yeah, this is a hard R.
No, yeah.
It's kind of like when you told me you were going to review Porky's and watch it, and I told you that's a hard R, just a heads up.
Nah. I mean, it doesn't really disturb me, but it's interesting to look at. And
what an R was in 1980?
Oh, well, yeah, it varies. Like, you can't even tell anymore. The ratings almost don't mean anything. Like, Green Knight was a R, and, like...
Really?
Yeah, you cut out, like, a couple of seconds from it, it had to become PG-13 almost instantly.
I can only imagine it's like that for maybe some scenes of nudity and violence.
Not even really violence. There's not much violence in it.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, there is kind of nudity. You get naked giant breast.
Okay.
It's like, okay. It's also super stylized, so it's not...
Oh.
Not like, oh boy, look at those boobies. Yeah.
Just a tasteful framed picture.
Yeah, it's that and implied, but obviously not implicit sex. That's about it.
Okay.
It's yeah. But this is not that. This is super violent.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the lab scene, that's when we get to the scene where you suddenly realize Rick realizes the U.S. government is there. They're going to hide that the U.S. government was involved, and he's going to steal the information and release it to the press. And Peacemaker says, "No, that's not my job. My job is to keep the peace." And that's that's suddenly the moment when I realized, oh my God, Rick Flag's gonna die, and I don't want him to die now.
I don't want him to die either.
It's like,
I was just like, oh, heel turn.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, Rick's gonna die.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, and in the first movie, if he had died in that final battle, I don't think I would have blinked. But here, I'm like, fuck, don't kill Rick.
Don't. Fuck you, John Cena.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's when it's firmly, like you enjoy the John Cena character, but throughout the movie, he's not a good guy. And this is when it's firmly established, yeah, he's not a good guy at all. So,
no.
Yeah, obviously,
he's far from it.
He gets the murder on Rick Flag, and that is sad. And he almost kills Ratcatcher too before Bloodsport pancakes down there and shoots him with a smaller bullet, which was foreshadowed by Peacemaker earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like, your bullet's small. It's small because it goes farther and faster.
Yeah, well, I love how John Cena's like, well, Bloodsport's like, I'm going to hit it perfectly in the center. And then he's like, I'm going to hit it more in the center with a smaller bullet. And then it's revealed at the end, nope, Bloodsport's the one with the smaller bullet. Sorry.
Sorry, Cena.
But yes, yeah, it seems like Peacemaker's kind of the main villain for a little bit, and then you get Starro, who just destroys fucking everything.
Ooh,
I
it's
love
just a
it.
giant fucking starfish with an eye.
Yeah, I love that they call him a kaiju.
Yeah, I kind of love that. The tech in Waller's lab is like, we got a fucking kaiju situation here. Because I think, wow, that's exactly how I would have reacted in that scenario.
Almost similar to the bar scene, although I would argue this is better done. How Waller orders the heroes, okay, we got the information, come home. This is no longer our problem. And of course, they decide, no, we're gonna fight Starro. And Waller's like, I'm gonna blow you guys up. And that's when the lab techs get their hero moment. They stop Waller and they help him out, which
and they just give them tech support. Yeah, that was a cool moment.
Even the minor characters in this get a little bit to shine. It's kind of great, kind of.
It really was. And really quickly, since we're on Starro, I wanted to talk about this. I really enjoyed like the color scheme in this whole movie.
Yes.
Like it, I don't want to say they were muted almost, but they were very bright and vibrant, but toned down at the same time, so it wasn't overwhelming. And I didn't notice an overall brightness in colors until the introduction of Starro, because his colors are very bright, but it still had this very gray feel to the whole film. Well, even more during this battle.
Especially watching this in 2016 back to back. 2016 is just so dark and dreary, and it's clearly desperately trying to cling to that Zack Snyder aesthetic, which is like, be your own thing. David Ayer, you're not Zack Snyder, be your own thing. Of course, it might have been a studio mandate.
I think it
probably was.
Because, the studio meddling is just so fucking apparent.
Yeah. Well, it drives me nuts, because it's like, I lost my train of thought. They were going, it's clear, they're going for a darker aesthetic, then they get the lighter trailers. So all of a sudden they're trying to up the color scheme, and you can tell as the trailers go on, they get lighter and lighter, and it's like, oh my god, you clearly wanted it to be dark, and now you're changing it all in post. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. And I mean, this movie did something similar, but the brightness, you notice it more and more and more. Like the scene where Harley's escaping, and flower petals replace blood.
Oh yes, we didn't even talk about that whole Harley side quest going on.
Yeah, visually beautiful.
I also love how that scene really shows how Harley's developed in this trilogy of movies she's done. Because she hooks up with the guy who's the leader of the country, and she's like, okay. He tells her, his whole villainous plan, and he's like, not even, I'll kill children and women and whoever gets in my way. And she just instantly fucking shoots him down. And she's like, I made a deal with myself. If I see anybody with red flags, I'm going to have to kill him immediately, because I know my taste in men is awful. And I know if I run away, you're just going to chase me down. So I'm just going to kill you and hedge my losses. It's like, okay. I got you. It's I love how they've developed Harley, not really in the original Suicide Squad, but since then.
They did. And they did a lot of fine work in Birds of Prey developing her as a character. I really feel like giving her a solo outing was the better route. I still will stand by this to this day. Same with Justice League. If they're going to be doing the group superhero films, Marvel has the tried and true method of individual introductions of films. Mm-hmm. They give them their own, and if they start them off and make them an established character before you introduce them as a collective unit, it can work better, because they'll be hardcore fans of each of them. Let's think back to when the Avengers came out, okay?
Okay.
There were different camps all over. People who were hardcore Iron Man, Team Thor, and this was even before Civil War. Ones who were just champions for each of them. And the idea with it was for all those people to come together and watch them, because I'll admit the first run of all of it through phase 1, I might have skipped out on the Thor movies.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, Thor one's
out on Iron Man 2.
Okay-ish. Okay.
Well, no, the third Iron Man I skipped out on.
I like third Iron Man. Everybody bashed that one. I like it.
It was good.
It's a Shane Black movie for sure, but I like Shane Black. So.
Yeah. I felt that, it was just all the leftover ideas from 1 and 2.
Maybe. Meh.
Maybe.
With some Shane Black sprinkled in.
Yeah.
I kind of dig that.
They're both. It's still better than Dark World.
Dark World. Oh yeah. Well, Dark World. I believe. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I go back to one of my own quotes from one of my videos where I talk about Endgame. They time travel back to the highlights of the MCU and Thor: The Dark World. It's like, yeah.
Yeah,
they travel back to that one, but who cares?
Well, we're just gonna just glaze over that one.
Yeah. They did give in that movie Endgame they gave Renee Russo. They finally gave her a bit more, and it's like, yay, okay. She didn't get much in her Thor movie, so that's something.
No, they didn't. And actually, I am now just realizing that was Renee Russo.
Yeah. It took me a second to come up with it. She's a famous actress, man.
I know. She was in 2 out of the 4 Lethal Weapon movies.
Was it just? Yeah, it was just the last 2. But yes. Yeah. She's all over the place, though. But yeah.
No, she doesn't have as many as Pesci. Pesci has 3.
Yeah, Pesci has 3. Yeah, they always had a new character. At least one new character in every Lethal Weapon that carried on throughout.
Yeah.
I'm sure if they'd done a Lethal Weapon 5, Chris Rock would have been on board.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've heard rumor of it for like years.
Well, I'm sure I don't know for sure it's dead, but the original rumor was they're going to move forward. Last I heard, and Richard Donner was still going to direct, and then, of course, Richard Donner passed. So,
yeah.
I'm going to assume it's dead.
I've also heard Danny and Mel both say that they would do it, but they would only do it with Richard.
Yeah, and I get that. I would only really be interested with Richard Donner, even though I always felt those Lethal Weapon movies were diminishing returns every step of the way. But, if they're all honestly going to come together and do a 5th one, fuck it, I'll watch it. But, yes. Where are we on? We're talking about the Suicide Squad. Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah, we were. I was frozen for a moment.
Okay, we're on. But yeah, so they defeat Starro with a whole bunch of rats. Something that would have been useful throughout the movie, but I kind of let go because it was just so much fucking fun.
Yeah, that was just so great. Just the swarm of them everywhere.
Yes. I don't think we brought up in the podcast. I know we discussed it beforehand, but this feels like a mixture of James Gunn's, like, this is what his Guardians of the Galaxy mixed with his former Trauma days. This is like the perfect mix of those. It's like bloody and gory, but it's superheroes and it's got a heart. It's kind of great.
Yeah. It's just kind of everything awesome.
Yes. I would have to rewatch movies. I don't know if it's my favorite James Gunn movie. I know, like, if I were ranking it in the MCU, even though it's not an MCU movie, if I were ranking it in the MCU, it'd be pretty fucking high up there. It's obviously super high up there, DCEU, which is remotely as competitive.
Well, I mean, if you would consider all the new gen movies DCU?
DCEU...
Man of Steel on.
Well, not all of them. Joker's not part of DCEU. But most of Man of Steel on DC properties are. I'm not gonna lie, the DCEU is a fucking shit show. It's a shame we can't include those first 2. It's a shame we can't include those first 2 Superman. It's a shame we can't. Yeah, the DC.
I'm okay with leaving out Quest for Peace.
Well, yeah, especially with this movie, I feel the DCEU is just kind of a shit show, and this movie, it doesn't really follow anything from the previous canon, and I think it's all the better for it. This is literally just James Gunn doing the Suicide Squad movie he wants to make, and it shines through so well.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Like, it's James Gunn at his most gunniest. Like, it's
James.
It's Gunniest. So beautiful. Yeah, like it's just. Oh God, I was just so happy and just so impressed. I love this. Like, this is like an A++. Like,
yes, it's best superhero movies for a while. I'm trying to think, maybe Infinity War. I'm trying to think, what was the other?
like the last superhero movie that got me this hype.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm trying to remember what was last.
Probably Homecoming.
Yeah, Infinity War was great. Was Into the Spider-Verse after Infinity War or before it?
I want to say it was after. Wait, was it before or after what?
Infinity War. I don't remember. They're around the same time. Those were the last.
I think it was after Infinity War.
Okay, but yeah, those are just to give you an idea. Like, I love those movies, and those were the last movies I would say even come close to something like this.
Spider-Verse was just, oh my god, so good.
Oh, they're so artistic. I loved it.
I loved it, yeah. And that we actually had our chance to one of the many chances we've had since then, since the fabled Burton Superman, is to hear Nick Cage as a superhero. We got to hear him as like a noir Spidey, which I thought was just so fucking great.
Well, he did get to play Superman in Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
He did.
But
and I watched it solely just for that.
Any final thoughts on Suicide Squad?
Oh man, just perfect. I've just really fucking loved this movie.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. It feels good to have DC putting out quality film products.
Oh yes. This is
on par with Marvel.
Yeah, if they want this is the secret DCEU needs to figure out. Kind of not necessarily let their filmmakers do whatever, but know when to control them and when not to. Like, I feel like Kevin Feige has a good grasp of this. And they need somebody like that at DCEU. Because this is James Gunn just doing his thing, and it works perfectly.
Yeah.
And if they followed more of a formula like this, I feel like DCEU would be in a much better place.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I know that I have been saying this for the longest time, and this was really a lot after Superman v Batman, Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, and the Justice League film. After those, I just was so disappointed with everything DC. And I just kind of found myself questioning, how the hell can DC put out better animated movies than live action?
Oh, yeah. Well, they have classic animated movies.
Shit at that time. Their live action, fucking great. Their animation, shit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get that. Because I think they tried to make them too directed towards children. When a lot of and yes, comic books are essentially for kids. Yes. But the storylines, as a lot of them developed and like carried on over time, they started dealing with a lot more heavier subject matter, like death, addiction, murder, just all sorts of, and a lot of like serious emotional trauma and physical trauma. So it's hard to put those in a kid's cartoon. I mean, it was done tastefully in '97, but without getting into like the new nitty and the gritty with the animated series of Batman. But again, that's DC.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that kind of drove me nuts. Like the Marvel, where the animated division's suffering, but the live action is doing well. That makes sense because it tells me they're putting all their cookies into live action stuff, which makes sense. I get that. That's the big money stuff. That's the stuff everybody talks about, everybody wants to go see. And DC was like, it felt like they were doing the opposite. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I get you got talented animated guys, leave them there. But you don't have any talented guys for the live action shit? Are you seriously telling me that? Are you...
Like, you can't get the guys who write for the animated to see, hey, can you get a feature length?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you had mentioned Flashpoint by mistake earlier, but I want to bring that up because that movie was my introduction to the DC animated film verse.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Holy crap, that was great.
Yeah.
And the next one I watched was the Battle of Atlantis, where the Atlanteans and Wonder Woman and her people, they were waging war.
I don't even know if I've seen that one.
I might be confusing a plot point of Flashpoint. But I remember there was a bunch of them that I'd watched for a while. There was like bunch of those on Netflix, so I just kind of binged them all when they were on there. I know there was a really great Superman one. I think it was like it kind of dealt with the Doomsday almost, like
I'm trying to remember.
the Superman almost.
I know the Superman one I really remember loving was Superman versus the Elites. Because that one's worth checking out. That was it's like there's this new edgier group of superheroes. But the thing is, though, they're out, like, killing people, and it's quickly becoming apparent that they aren't, like, edgy heroes. They're just, fucking doing whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And how Superman handles them is kind of brilliant. It's totally worth watching.
Okay.
There's the one where Superman is dying. I don't remember that. But yeah, there's some great standalone animated DC movies. The live-action ones don't reflect it at all. Although...
Yeah, DC has always been on point with their animated, even like when you and I were much younger, and they had the Superman series, the Batman animated series, as well as the Justice League. I know at this time they also had all the Justice League on Netflix too, and I watched that entire series and all of Justice League Unlimited. Whew. Great story, great stories, and I just don't know what it is. Just they could really write a great story and, just still have like the great voice acting. Still, they had a amazing voice cast just to like convey it all just through the power of voice and storytelling as well as animation. And just DC's always on point with their animation.
Well, I'm going to reel this back to Suicide Squad 2016 really fast. Because there was actually a Suicide Squad animated movie in 2014. And if they had literally taken that script and adapted it to live action, it would have been better than Suicide Squad 2016. So my brain hurts when I think about things like that. It's like, you already have great fucking movies. Like, if you really want to be lazy with the script, you could just film the scripts you already fucking have and get fucking good movies.
It's kind of like it was the Suicide Squad Assault on Arkham, right?
Yes. It was actually Batman Assault on Arkham because nobody knew who Suicide Squad was at that time. But it's a Suicide Squad movie.
Okay. I mean, okay.
But yes, there is more DC properties because you brought up to me how there's a Doom Patrol trailer out now.
That's season 3 of Doom Patrol.
Yes, I have not.
Yes.
I am really...
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Doom Patrol is something I am super slacking on, because I really want to see Season 2, but I haven't yet. I loved Season 1. This is like the least superhero show ever. It is essentially a group of superheroes almost kind of moping around. But they have these great fantastical powers. Although in a lot of ways, their powers are kind of just all over the place. In some ways, are kind of almost useless to some degree. Of course, they always end up being useful at the right times. But...
Well, this show is just... Oh, God, it's just so great. Writing, acting, production, all of it is amazing. Remind me, you said you have not watched Season 2 yet, correct?
Yes.
Remind me what happened at the end of Season 1, if you can.
Oh, it's been a while. I remember there was that town.
Yes. The town?
Yes. And then, God, I don't remember what they did. I know there's Alan Tudyk was kind of the villain, but then he kind of helped them out at the end. Yeah, what was his name? Was it like Mr. Nobody or something like that?
It was Mr. Nobody, yes.
Okay, all right.
You forgot a title in front of his name, the legendary Alan Tudyk.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
God, he's all over the place anymore.
Yeah, he's another phenomenal actor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But, okay. I don't want to spoil any of Season 2 for you, but where we left off with it, and where the trailer will kind of lead us into, is you see a lot of craziness and wondering and what the hell is going on, which is kind of where they left us off at.
Craziness in Doom Patrol? Are we talking about the same series?
Yeah. I mean, they're all together. They are transported, it looks like. But then again, this could also be stuff from showing us various clips throughout the entire season. So trailers do tend to do that a lot. So it's hard for me to gauge anything off of my initial reaction to it. But I mean, my initial reaction was just super excited.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of more seeing the line on it on YouTube and just go, no fucking way.
Yeah.
I hope this isn't fucking fan made.
Yeah. All right.
It wasn't.
Well, I got the trailer right here. Just gotta click on it. Like I said, I haven't seen season 2, so I'm gonna see what I think. Maybe this will get me like, oh my god, I have to watch this now. Ooh, loading bar.
Arrival imminent.
My God.
There are mysterious things in this world that bear keeping an eye on.
What? Weird
I
shit?
think there's something he needs to show me.
Yeah, like I
We
said.
appear to
What?
be dead.
How do you want to be remembered?
Was there another way or not?
Me.
Wake up! You're in danger!
Piffle paffle, Bindi.
What the hell happened?
Gibberish words?
Piffle paffle, Bindi.
They are coming for us! But what does it all mean?
Answer your own damn question.
It's those data freaks!
How does this crap keep
Yeah.
happening, Beth?
Yeah,
What
this
you're
looks weird.
experiencing
This
is
looks like what our-
eternal flagellation.
Oh my god, Kirk.
It's Brendan Fraser.
Wait.
Like a
Was that Gorilla Groot in this? Oh my god.
I think.
Oh
think
god.
so.
The way through the looking glass
I think
now.
it was.
Oh, that's an awesome actor. Speaking of Alan to the Firefly guy right there.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks fucking crazy, and I'm on board. I need to watch season 2. I need more.
You do? Oh my god!
I don't think that really spoiled anything other than crazy shit's gonna be happening, which I kind of figured with Doom Patrol.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll admit, I kind of near the end of the second season, and I'm gonna try and be as spoiler free about this as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that what they were doing with the daughter and the main old guy, Timothy Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't think of the character name, but I just know him as James Bond, Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, the underrated James Bond.
No, that's George Lazenby.
Oh, actually, you're not wrong.
Because he went into the audition, bullshitted it, and got it.
Yeah.
He's the best James Bond.
I won't say best, but yeah, both he and
Well,
Dalton
I mean,
were underrated.
He is the most James Bond. He got the role in the most James Bond way.
Yes, he did. No shit.
I mean, no, greatest is obviously, it's obviously Roger Daltrey or Roger Moore. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My favorite Bond movie is You Only Live Twice. Who do you think my favorite is?
Man. Yeah. I go replace on James Bond's. I do think Timothy Dalton.
we
The
could save
issue
it
with
for
Timothy
another
Dalton
podcast.
was he was before his time. He went for the edgy stuff before the edgy stuff was in, and
Yeah, he did.
it was
he
good.
I'll agree with that absolutely. What was his On Her Majesty's Secret Service?
That was
Right, if I'm not
that was Lazenby.
That's right. That was Lazenby. What's
Which
the
was
one?
good too. They actually did more emotional
one,
stuff
too.
in that one, which I dug.
Yeah, that's the one where they kill his wife.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dalton.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's still even thinking about it now. That's a blow.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Dalton did too. He did Living Daylights, which is kind of weak. It was like a Roger Moore one with Timothy Dalton. Didn't quite work. Then they did License
It totally
to Kill.
was a Roger Moore one.
Then they did License to Kill, and License to Kill is fucking awesome.
Lagging again. We're lagging again.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying License to Kill. I love License to Kill.
Who's this? There we are. You're back. You cut
Okay.
out on me.
Oh, okay. All I said was License to Kill was awesome.
No, yeah, License to Kill is great.
But
View to Kill was all right.
View to a Kill. Oh, that's the Christopher Walken one.
Yeah.
I kind of can't stand that one.
No, the Christopher Walken one is Diamonds Are Forever.
No.
Yeah, he plays the bad guy.
No. Christopher Walken's it's a View to a, what is it? Yeah, it's a View to a Kill. I'm pretty sure.
I'm almost positive it's Diamonds Are Forever.
I'm like 99% sure. No, Diamonds Are Forever has a Blofeld.
Well, yeah. In the first few moments, and then he dropped. No, is that the one where he drops him down?
Diamonds Are Forever is, I want to say, like, there's the Lazenby one, and I want to say Diamonds Are Forever is the last one with Sean Connery where he came back for one.
No, Never Say Never Again is where he came back. Where he was like...
I'm talking about canon James Bond. You're going off the rails. There's that offshoot James Bond where they remake Thunderball.
Hitting on girls in their 20s.
Yes. That is the Thunderball remake that came out in the 80s there. I wasn't thinking of that one.
It technically is a James Bond movie. It doesn't have the same
you're not wrong. I just wasn't considering it because
it doesn't give us the viewfinder opening. But
I do say it's not canon, but then James Bond canon is so fucking gobbledygook.
I mean, if we want to talk film release and have that be established as canon, we have to count in the Peter Sellers Casino Royale too.
Oh god, that one's like unwatchable. Oh fuck.
Yeah, and I love bad movies. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. I also can't stand Woody Allen. So
yeah, especially now. Anyways,
yes.
One thing I do want to talk about. One thing about Doom Patrol that I love is that Brendan Fraser is amazing in this series. I love that he's back in a regular role. Oh my god, he's great. Just his sarcastic voice is wonderful as Mr. Robot.
His tone, his delivery, it's all just so spot on.
Yeah, he essentially gets to play the straight man in this story, and he's wonderful in it.
Well, he's playing the straight man living inside of a robot.
Yeah, so he's not the straight man at all, but he gets to play it. He's the guy who's looking at everything going, what the fuck?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've heard him drop F-bombs before, but he gets a lot in this series.
I mean, I'm sure there's some art house pieces that he has done early in his career where he might have said hell, shit, or damn. But F-bombs, I can't recall.
Yeah. But yeah.
But, he's somebody who had a very interesting Hollywood career and then kind of faded into the abyss of obscurity, which was fucking tragic.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you think about a lot of his, like, big roles that he's well known for, obviously we're going to just list off the most popular thing he had ever done, and this is probably going to be a different answer depending on your age, but, Encino Man, for one.
That was his big, that's when I first became aware of him, obviously.
Yeah. And then after that, it would be George of the Jungle. Then he had a lot of romantic comedy roles.
Mm-hmm.
And then later he got like another really big role for him playing Mr. O'Connell in the Mummy series.
I was about ready to say you need to bring up Mummy.
I was getting to it. I was kind of leading that as a teaser with his most popular role. Nope, not that. Actually, Encino Man. And being a thought-out man is his most popular role. But he could get it and be like a great lead action man, like great leading man, like on the same caliber of Cruise or Pitt. And then he could be on a show, like a television drama, and literally rip your heart out of your chest. Like talking about his appearance on Scrubs.
I have not seen Scrubs, so...
There is an episode where he's on it, and it's like a few different episodes. He plays a brother of a character who is involved with one of the leads, like a relationship, like her brother, like a doctor's wife's brother. And they were always really close, but he's being treated, and it's been long enough, I'm just going to spoil it. He's there to be treated for leukemia, and he realizes that he's dying. But the whole time, like later on, you see him following around that doctor who they're buddies with. And then you come to realize that the past 3 episodes that you've seen him with, he's been a ghost. He's dead.
Oh, shit.
So this doctor
doing some Sixth Sense stuff.
Yeah, well, it's not just more that. It was more dealing with how the doctor was having issues saying goodbye to his friend.
Mm-hmm.
Just pretending like he's still there. And that goes into more of a lead of that, but it was just a small little cameo. And that little cameo can leave just such an impact.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Fraser is such an underappreciated actor, and it's fucking shame that that Tinseltown tried to take advantage of him, but he stood up and said, fuck you. I don't care.
I don't know. I know I've heard stories about it. It's been a while since I've read them, so I couldn't tell anything. But it sounds like he's had an awful run, especially in the downward trajectory of his career.
Yeah.
And my approach has become fairly simple. More Brendan Fraser is better. He is just great in everything.
And I did read something this morning. I shared it with you before we started recording today, and I'm going to share it too. I had read that he has been recently casted in the new Martin Scorsese movie.
Yes, that.
I forget the title escapes me right now, but I mean, working with the director of that on the second kick of your career.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine how great that will be for him, and I really just wish him nothing but the best. Sincerely.
One thing,
he's just
since Martin Scorsese's been brought up, I do feel it's worth noting. I feel like the way he promotes each movie now is to bash on Marvel a bit. And I have to say, it's been somewhat successful because it gets people fucking talking about it.
Yeah. And I mean,
it's so weird.
I found, when I had first heard it, I was just thinking, well, what the fuck's first, what's Marty's fucking deal?
Yeah.
What's your problem, Marty? Are you mad that, that a lot of your the core audience of you are dying and they can't go out to see your films, or what the hell's your problem, buddy?
I really start to think it's a calculation on his part to just, if I say something bad about Marvel, I get a news cycle.
Yeah, and he's and I get to go on promoting my film.
Yes.
And I mean, it's a smart tactic. And I mean, I'm just trying to think of Scorsese's staple actors, and if they've ever appeared or been in any comic book films, and I can't think of any crossing occurrences.
Oh, there has to be.
Without doing the
Margot Robbie. Although I don't
Robbie.
know, she's just been in one that I can think of though.
Yeah, well, two.
What's the second?
Oh no,
one?
she's been in. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. She's been in one Scorsese film. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Wolf of Wall Street. I can't think of another one.
I think she might have also been cast in this one. I forget exactly what it is, but it's. I mean, there's a few usual suspects rounding in. I think Leo has already signed on to it, and a couple of other people. I should have wrote this down when I found it, but yeah.
Yeah, we're off on a tangent anyway.
Yeah. Brendan Fraser's going to be in a new Scorsese flick.
I'm cool. More Brendan Fraser is better.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe next, maybe for Marty's next picture, he'll cast Pauly Shore.
Ooh. Hey, if he can act, sure. It'd be weird, but okay.
I think if he had the right direction, he could do dramatic.
Probably. Martin Scorsese directing Encino Man 2. It's okay.
The Kroll age.
Well, I think we're good for today. I think we've done this for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think we got plenty of Suicide Squad in, though.
Yes, I think we got a lot of it in.
Anything you want to add? Anything you're planning?
Anything I'm planning? Right now, I'm just planning wedding stuff.
Makes sense.
Since that's coming up next month.
It gets all-encompassing. I remember back in the day.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, if I could just divulge into this a little bit, with having to plan it in late in early, maybe late 2019, going into the new year, into 2020, and then having every single plan that you have made and gathered and wanted to do literally disappear in front of you, and having to reschedule, replan, recoordinate. It's been a fucking mess.
Yeah.
It's honestly to the point where her and I both kind of keep looking at each other going why the hell haven't we gone down to the courthouse?
Mm-hmm.
And just find two people. You want $20? Yeah. Here.
Yeah, 2020's just been a shit show. And 2021, God, we're trying to get back on track, but holy shit.
I mean, it's... It doesn't matter. It's not really about, the government or anyone forcing anything to put inside of you or in you or what the fuck ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we all want normalcy.
Yes. Oh my God.
We it's just so bad. I mean, I'm planning on going to a concert this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And what worries me the most about it, and I'm still going to go through it, I'm more concerned with, like, I'm going to see a hippie jam band, and I guarantee you that not half of those hippies have been vaxxed. I guarantee you that.
Yes.
So I'm going to have a mask on and just stand in the back, similar to how I usually stand at shows. Just don't have a mask.
Yeah.
But I'm also more happy to get live music for the first time in over a year.
Oh, God, yes. I can't wait to go to... I think I don't have a concert planned until December. Hopefully it goes through. But yeah, that will be exciting. I think Flock of Seagulls is coming the end of October, and I still haven't decided if I want to go to that or not. I might.
Well, I mean, I would say you should just go until they play Iran, but you know that's going to be the last song of the night.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not going to lie, their whole first album's fucking awesome. I would argue their first album's better than their greatest hits.
I'm kidding. So there's a few 80s bands that I've been like getting into more and more lately, and I kind of feel somewhat like that you're responsible for that.
Maybe. I listen to 80s way too much.
Well, I mean, you did give me a literal stack of CDs when we left Quiznos of nothing but 80s.
It's been a while.
I believe one was entitled "So Much 80s Till You Puke." 80s Overdose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bah. Yeah,
my roommates hated me after that.
I remember that vaguely. God, it's been a while though. I was actually thinking about that because Ashlyn was just born when we worked at Quiznos.
Yeah.
She's a teenager now, by the way.
Jesus.
just gonna throw that out there.
I told you that one of the frat guys, who was probably a junior when we worked there, is the GM of my location.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of funny to me.
I'm not going to think about the fact that my birthday is tomorrow. I'm not thinking about it.
Oh, I won't think about it in 2 months. I won't be thinking the same thing in 2 months.
All right. Well, let's see. On my end, I am working on a DCEU ranking list. I also am very early stages, probably going to put together the Suicide Squad versus Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Nice.
But yeah, that's where I'm working on besides podcast stuff right now.
Yeah. I mean, I am writing a little script writing. I'm trying to do a long form review of The Exorcist 3.
Okay, I've not seen anyone past the first one, so.
You don't need to watch the second.
Well, which one has Linda Blair come back? Is that the second or third one?
You don't need to watch the second. Don't. It has nothing to do with the first one at all.
No. I have to watch them all for completionist, because that's how I roll.
I gave you 2 warnings.
I don't care how much I have to abuse myself.
Well, the third one is great because, and why I say that is like that's a Studio Rush production.
Mm-hmm.
The first one did so well. Let's make a sequel.
Ooh, yes. They would never do that.
William Peter Blatty, the author of the original book that the original film was based off of, wrote and directed this. And this is actually a novel he wrote as a sequel to The Exorcist, originally called Legion.
Okay, I think I've heard of that before.
Yeah, it's been made as a film and that, but it follows the story of the detective who was trying to solve the case in the first one. Mm-hmm. And the other priest, the one that didn't die, who was friends with the younger priest.
Okay.
The first one, you see them walking away, and they bond over cinema. They both like movies. So in the third one, you see them both together, and they're older, obviously, because time has passed, but they've kept their friendship since the events of the first one.
Okay.
So that's the establishing of that, and really cool stuff. Brad Dourif knocks it out of the park in this, and there's just so much to talk about in that.
Yeah.
I've been working on this review for a long time now.
Ooh.
Long form, like I said.
Okay, that sounds cool. So, you want to drop any of your Facebook or anything?
Yes. You can check out all my true crime stuff And whatever little video edits, I believe I have a video edit from Exorcist 3 up there on my Facebook page at bobbyquarters.com. I have my YouTube channel as Bobby Quarters as well, and Instagram at Bobby Quarters 13.
And yeah, I'm all over the place on Organized Chaos. So yeah, everyone have a good one.
You can see me not do uploads on Instagram.
Ooh, that sounds like my Instagram.
Yeah, or pictures of my cat.
Ooh, yes. I think it's usually pictures of me with the kids at the theater, and that's all I think of. Yeah, I don't do much Instagram.
The last big thing I did on there, I was sitting at a bus stop, and there was a cup with a questionable contents in it, and I made a poll asking if it was tea or pee.
Yeah. Yum.
He won. He won.
Nice. Don't drink the cups. I want to go ahead and add some audio credits at the end here. The theme music you're hearing at the beginning and end of this podcast was written and performed by George Johnson, a very good friend of mine. And my current Patreons are Fel Martins, David Lara, and Lindsay Pankhurst. If you'd like to become a patron, go ahead and follow the link down below. Anything you can provide would be incredibly helpful to this channel. We're barely limping by right now. I'd love to make this my full-time job, but I'm miles away from that right now. So any help you could provide, just $1 a month would be amazing. You know you want to. All your friends are doing it.